Hi folks, hope you're okay. It's good to see you. I made a video yesterday about will science save us, and I said a few things, and some of the atheists, knowing that it was a strong argument, are all up in arms about it and getting upset about it, and they're saying give us your citations. Basically I was saying that there's this idea amongst atheists today that all we need is science, and I was saying in the early Enlightenment period, when they were on about science, they felt that it had to be rooted in a kind of morality, otherwise society would go off its rails. But today the new atheism advocates science, but it as if it's going to save us and solve all our problems, but fails to realise that it's not got any morality to base it on a foundation, and it's in danger of collapsing and stuff like that. So anyhow, I'm going to put some double standards on for you. Here's Daniel Dennett talking about scientism, the kind of thing that I was just saying. Okay, so this is Daniel Dennett denying this kind of philosophy that I've just been telling you.
I listened very carefully to what you said about scientism, and I don't know anybody who's guilty of it. It seems to me that scientism has been invented as a sort of straw man or straw person. So that anytime anybody gets angry or anxious about science sticking its nose in something where they think science has no business sticking its nose, they get to say reductionism, scientism, and these are epithets that are supposed to freeze everybody in their tracks. Oh my gosh, it's scientism again.
So there he is, he's denying this idea that atheists are into scientism, the idea that all we need is science, that's religion is the enemy of science, we've got to destroy religion, and we've got to maintain a scientific world and keep away from the irrationalism of religion, and with science we can valiantly soldier on and sort everything out in the world. Now, which he's a completely dishonest guy, Daniel Dennett, because he's completely contradicted himself in his whole totality of his whole work, as far as I'm concerned. Anyhow, here's Richard Dawkins now, speaking at Reason Rally. So here's my citation evidence, atheist, for scientism in atheist ranks.
Between 13 and 14 billion years of measuring the age of the Earth between 4 and 5 billion years. Of knowing what matter is made of, knowing what we are made of atoms, brought together by this mechanical, automatic, unplanned, unconscious process, evolution by natural selection. That's not just true, it's beautiful. And it's beautiful because it's true, and it's almost too good to be true. How is it conceivable that the laws of physics should conspire together without guidance, without direction, without any intelligence to bring us into the world? Now we do have intelligence. Intelligence comes into the world, comes into the universe late. Come into the world through our brains and maybe other brains in the universe. Now, at last, finally, after 4 billion years of evolution, we have the opportunity to bring some intelligent design into the world. We need intelligent design. We need to intelligently design our morals, our ethics, our politics, our society. We need to intelligently design the way we run our lives, not look back to scrolls, I was going to say ancient scrolls, they're not even very ancient. About 800 BC, the book of Genesis was written. I am often accused of expressing contempt and despising religious people. I don't despise religious people, I despise what they stand for. I like to quote the British journalist Johan Hari, who said, I have no contempt for you. I have so much respect for you that I cannot respect your ridiculous ideas. Electromagnetic spectrum runs all the way from extremely long waves in radio wave end of the spectrum to gamma rays at the very short wave end of the spectrum. And visible light, that which we can see, is a tiny little sliver in the middle of that electromagnetic spectrum. Science has broadened out our perception of that spectrum. Long-wave radio waves on the one hand and gamma rays on the other. I take that as being symbolic of what science does generally. It takes our little vision, our little parochial small vision, and broadens it out. And that is a magnificent vision for what science can do. Science makes us see what we couldn't see before. Religion does its best to snuff out even that light which we can see. So we're here to stand up for reason, to stand up for science, to stand up for logic, to stand up for the beauty of reality and the beauty of the fact that we can...
See, notice, whenever he went right at the beginning when he talked about morals, but notice, for Dawkins, and it's simple, it's also for Dennett, even though he denied it for Sam Harris and for Thunderfoot and all these hardcore atheists, science is like the beanies, that's it, it's like a god. That's the point, you see. Science, science, science. So I'm correct in my analysis.
Understand reality. I hope that this meeting will be a turning point. I'm sure many people have said that already. I like to think of the physical analogy of a critical mass. There are too many people in this country. Who have been cowed into fear of coming out as atheists or secularists or agnostics. We are far more numerous than anybody realizes. We are approaching a tipping point. We're approaching that critical mass where the number of people who have come out has become so great that suddenly everybody will realize, I can come out too. And that moment is not far away now, and I think that with hindsight, this rally in Washington will be seen as a very significant tipping point on the road. And I would particularly appeal to my scientific colleagues, most of whom are atheists. If you look at the members of the National Academy of Sciences,
see,
about
it doesn't mention the poets, the playwrights, the artists. See, it's science. It's science.
If you look at the Royal Society of London, the equivalent for the British Commonwealth, again, about 90% of them are atheists. But they mostly keep quiet about it. They're not ashamed of it. They just can't be bothered to come out and express what they feel. They think religion is just simply boring, and they're not going to bother to even stand up and oppose it. They need to come out. Religion is an important phenomenon. 40% at least of the American population, according to opinion polls, think that the world, the universe, is less than 10,000 years old. That's not just an error, that's a preposterous error, I think. I've done the calculation before, and it's equivalent to believing that the width of North America from Washington to San Francisco is equal to about 8 yards. I don't know that I believe that 40% figure. It stands up, apparently so, for about the 1980s. But what I want to suggest you do is when you meet somebody who claims to be religious, ask them what they really believe. If you meet somebody who says he's Catholic, for example, say, what do you mean? Do you just mean you were baptized Catholic? Because I'm not impressed by that.
This is
We
disgusting.
just ran a poll by a foundation in Britain.
This is
just
totally
ran a poll
disgusting.
in Britain in which we took those people who had ticked the Christian box in the census. And by the way, that figure has come down dramatically. We just took the people who ticked the Christian box and we asked them, why did you tick the Christian box? And the most popular answer to that question was, oh, well, I like to think of myself as a good person. Well, we all like to think of ourselves as good people. Atheists do, Jews do, Muslims do. So when you meet somebody who claims to be Christian, ask him, what do you really believe? And I think you'll find that in many cases, they give you an answer which is no more convincing than that I like to be a good person. By the way, when we went on to ask a specific question of these, only 54%, what do you do when you're faced with a moral dilemma? Where do you turn? Only 10% turn to their religion when trying to solve a moral question. Only 10%. The majority of them said, I turn to my innate sense of goodness. The next most popular answer was, I turn for advice to relatives and friends. So, when I meet somebody who claims to be religious, my first impulse is don't believe you. I don't believe you until you tell me, do you really believe, for example, if they say they're Catholic, do you really believe that when a priest blesses a wafer, it turns into the body of Christ? Are you seriously telling me you believe that? Are you seriously saying that wine turns into blood? Mock them, ridicule them.
I think that's just so disgusting, so disgraceful.
In public.
And
don't fall for the convention.
And how you, as atheists, can advocate this kind of nonsense is just beyond me. It's not rationalism. It's not evidence. You know, it's not. You wanted your evidence about scientism. There you are. For Dawkins, all that matters is science. He didn't mention playwrights and poets. So, is society based on the scientific model that's going to solve everything, that's going to get everything sorted? And while we're at it, let's debunk and mock religion. But I'm pretty disgusted with that, actually, what Dawkins said. Pretty disgusting. Pretty disgusted. But there's your evidence, atheist out there. 1 minute you got Daniel Dennett, who says he doesn't believe in scientism. Next thing you've got Dawkins, and all he is consumed with is science. Science is the bee's. Science is everything, and you could see that quite clearly there. Alright? Thank you for listening, and God bless you. Take care.